Good morning or good afternoon, depending on where you are viewing from in the world. Welcome to The Silent Forgotten. I'm your host, Chris, and today I will be sharing with you the life story and visiting the final resting place of the prominent pioneer land surveyor, politician, justice of the peace, holder of several local public offices, and militia officer, Richard Birdsall, 1799 to 1852. Richard Birdsall was a British-born Upper Canadian land surveyor, land agent, politician, justice of the peace, holder of several public offices, and a militia officer. Born in rural Yorkshire, England, he immigrated to Upper Canada in 1817, settling initially in the township of Vaughan. He received a license for land surveying in 1819 and began his career that same year. He would go on to survey many areas in the Newcastle district as well as other parts of what is now southern Ontario, establishing the boundaries of many townships of the province and laying out the roads and farming lots within them. He was born sometime in 1799 in Thornton-le-Dale, a small village in the northeast of Yorkshire, England. He was schooled in the nearby village of Londesborough, graduating in 1817. His parents had hoped this education would be followed by a career in the Royal Navy. However, with the conclusion of the wars in both Europe and North America, the prospects for a naval career seemed slim. He instead chose to pursue opportunities in the growing colony of Upper Canada. His education made him a qualified candidate to becoming a surveyor. Upon his arrival in Upper Canada, he set to acquire the requisite licensing, which included performing an apprenticeship under Deputy Surveyor Reuben Sherwood. His career began in 1819 when he received a license to be a deputy land surveyor in Upper Canada. Shortly thereafter, he was hired by Zacchaeus Burnham, a militia captain and land speculator who resided in Hamilton Township. Captain Burnham had in 1818 received the contracts from the colonial government to survey several townships in the vicinity of Rice Lake. Captain Burnham, in turn, hired Birdsall to complete these surveys. Birdsall steadily worked through these contracts, surveying Attoneby Township in 1819, Asphodel Township in 1820, Durrow Township and Dummer Township, both in 1823, and the town site for Peterborough in 1825. He also undertook surveying jobs elsewhere in the colony, unaffiliated with the Burnham contracts. Such jobs included the surveying of part of Innisfil Township in 1820. In addition to his role as a surveyor, he secured for himself several important civil positions. In 1822, he was made a captain in the 2nd Regiment, Northumberland Militia, and in 1827, he was appointed as a Justice of the Peace for the Newcastle district. During this time, he married Elizabeth Burnham, the daughter of his surveying employer, Captain Zacchaeus Burnham, and had 4 children with her. He eventually established a farmstead with her in Asphodel Township, where Elizabeth died as a result of an accident in 1827. Following his wife's unexpected death, he continued surveying despite his new civic duties, albeit with less intensity. In 1830, he completed the survey of Smith Township, which had only been partially done in 1818. He also worked with fellow surveyor William Hawkins on establishing the northern boundary of the Huron Tract. By 1830, he had also become an agent for the Canada Company and was tasked with inspecting settlers on company land throughout the colony for compliance with the developmental terms of settlement. In order to keep their land, settlers were required to clear it, establish proper housing on it, and turn it into a viable farm within a period of a few years. These inspections occupied most of his attention for the remainder of his life. His rank of captain in the local militia put him in charge of the Asphodel contingent when the militia was activated in response to the Upper Canada Rebellion in 1837, though it appears his contingent was not involved in any notable incidents. Immediately following the end of the rebellion, he paid to raise and equip a new militia battalion based in Peterborough. The summer before the rebellion, he married for a second time to Charlotte Jane Everett of Belleville, Ontario, and this union produced 4 children. As a judicial officer, He was extensively involved with the litigation that followed the 1838 construction of a dam on the Trent River near Hastings, Ontario. The dam caused the water levels in Rice Lake to rise, damaging many waterfront properties in the area. His exposure to many of the inhabitants of the district in his roles as justice and land agent formed the basis for his transition into politics. Upon the creation of the Colborne District in 1841, he became the representative for Asphodel Township on the district council, serving in that position for 2 years. This was followed by an attempt to join the Parliament of the newly created province of Canada. While he chose not to run in the election in 1844 to represent Peterborough, he did campaign in the election of 1848. This saw a splitting of the vote, with another conservative candidate resulting in the victory for the Reform candidate. In 1850, the districts in Canada replaced by counties, and political offices for the municipalities were created. He became the first reeve of Asphodel Township while representing Asphodel on the council of the new Peterborough County. 2 years into this role, while on a business trip to Cavan Township, he fell seriously ill with pneumonia, from which he did not recover. He died of this illness on January 21st, 1852, at the age of about 50 or 51 years of age in Ballybor, Ontario. Following his death, he was buried at the St. Michael's Anglican Church Cemetery in Westwood, Ontario, a few miles from his homestead. Hi guys, today we are in Westwood, Ontario, Canada, which is a quaint little village. I'm just going to take you around and show you a little bit of the scenery before we visit the people who we're going to visit. Just take a gander up the road here and just show you some of the area. Now this is a main road, so we have to be very careful here. So there are 3 churches in this immediate area here. There is one across the street, but I think it's a residence, so I won't show you too much of that. It's a little blustery today. There's another one across the street. That is called St. Andrew's United Church, and I think that was founded in 1838. And there's another cemetery across the road. It's called the Westwood Community Cemetery, but I will take you there and I will do a tour of that at a later date. So another little road. So we are near Peterborough, Ontario and Hastings, Ontario. So there is the sign. We are at the St. Michael's Anglican Church Cemetery, and we will be visiting a gentleman named Richard Birdsall. I'll tell you more about him in just a moment. We'll walk back down this way. Actually, we'll go in this way. There's a vehicle parked there, and I don't want to catch the vehicle on camera. So that is the beautiful St. Michael's Anglican Church. I am not sure what year it was founded in, but there's an old caretaker's cottage over here. I'll just give you a quick peek of that. And there's a yappy dog next door, so hopefully he doesn't start barking. I already tried to do this video one day and the dog would not stop barking. all the beautiful fall colors. Beautiful. So there is the caretaker's cottage. There is a little bit more of the church. I won't worry too much about that, as you already saw it from the other view. So there's not very many gravestones in this cemetery. There's maybe, I believe, let's just see once I get up here on higher ground. There's some ruts and stuff in the ground here. I don't want to trip branches, don't want to get caught. So I'd say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, roughly about 12 stones. And this is another pioneer cemetery. And there are a couple of modern day stones, so I won't show you all of them. But there is a reverend and a couple of veterans buried here. But like I said, I'll show you them another day. So I am going to visit the grave of Richard Birdsall. Now, Richard Birdsall was an early land surveyor, a militia officer, a justice of the peace, politician, and an office holder of local community public political offices. And this is his family's stone. Sorry, there's a glare and I'm not sure if you can really see it, but there's a Mary Butterfield, there's a Colonel Richard Everett Birdsall, another Colonel Francis Everett Birdsall, and his wife Ethel W.S. Kent Birdsall. And I'll take you around the front. And Richard Birdsall is right there. 1799 to 1852. His wife Elizabeth Burnham, 1802 to 1827. Their daughter Margaret A. Birdsall, 1826 to 1850. His wife, which I presume is his second wife, Charlotte Everett Birdsall, 1816 to 1815. Frank Birdsall, who I assume is his brother, born January 6, 1838, died December 24th, 1914. And his wife, Amanda Emma Birdsall, born 1828, died 1919. And the epitaph reads, "Blessed are the dead which die in the Lord." And as you can see, that looks like the family crest up there. Now, another Birdsall of note, there's some things around the area named for him. There's a Birdsall line. And his grandson, his name was Richard Rogers Birdsall. And he lived from 1857 to 1927, I believe it was. And he's buried in Little Lake Cemetery in Peterborough. It's just up the road. But I'll do a tour of his grave another day. He was an engineer and an early sportsman. He's in our Sportsman Hall of Fame. And he helped create or engineer the Peterborough lift locks, which is a hydraulic boat, and I think it's the first or second one that was built in the entire world or something. And it's over 100 years old, and it runs between the Trent Severn Waterway and the Otonabee River, and tons of people come through there all the time. And there's fishing down there, and ducks and geese and everything else. And a witch even supposedly haunts the location. So there we have it. That is the grave of Richard Birdsall. Rest in peace, Richard Birdsall, and thank you for all that you did for Ontario and Peterborough and the other farming communities. May you rest in peace. And if you guys like this type of content, please like and subscribe, give the video a thumbs up and all that jazz. And I will see you on the next video. Thank you so much and have a great day. Bye.